All right. I just love those things. So, welcome. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Welcome to the Rotary meeting of the weekly meeting of the Rotary Club of Barrie. That's what I get for not reading it. Things go better when you are here. A special welcome to our visiting guests and Rotarians. We hope you enjoy your time with us, and please come back anytime you would like. If you'd like to stand for our beginning of our meeting. Okay. For good food, for good friends, and for the opportunity to provide service above self through Rotary, we are thankful. Remain standing for O Canada.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot, and all our sons command. With glowing hearts, we see the right path to know strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on God for a lead. Oh, people land, glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on God for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on God for thee.
Adorable. And a toast to the Queen. With my new London fog out of the new machine that Steve bought that makes the milk and all the fancy stuff. So just a little perk on that.
I thought cows made milk.
Well, this thing foams it. It's all like just awesome. You just press a button and it works. It's like perfect. So special guest. I know we've got a couple of guests. Mark, you have a guest. Oh, you're on mute. Mark, you're still on mute. There you go.
Yeah, I've got Sherry, my wife is here to witness what happens at a Rotary meeting.
Wonderful.
So good.
I'll behave myself.
Oh, well, that's no fun. So any other guests visiting Rotarians? Just trying to scan through to see. Okay, it looks like mostly just us. Wonderful. Well, welcome, Sherry. Glad you joined us.
Great, thank you.
And our Beacon editor this week is Sue Croft and Jason MacArthur. Thanks for the Beacon last week. Hope everybody read the double issue. You know, there were some funny lines, funny comments in both of them, so it's worth a read. We have a special presentation right now. So Jeff, can you take that away?
President Debbie, fellow Rotarians and guests, today is a special day because it's not very often that we get to honor one of our own members. But first, a little history. On January 27th, 1947, in Beverly, Chicago, Paul Harris, the founder of Rotary, passed away. By 1948, an outpouring of donations to the Rotary Foundation in memory of Paul Harris exceeded $1.775 million. Paul Harris's death was the real impetus towards the establishment of our very successful Rotary Foundation. In 1957, a decade after Paul Harris's death, the trustees of the Rotary Foundation announced that anyone making a donation of $1,000 to the foundation would become known as Paul Harris Fellows. Paul Harris Fellows at that time were presented with a plaque, a medallion, and a lapel pin, all bearing the likeness of our founder. In 2006, over 1 million Paul Harris Fellows had been awarded. And that's the history. and it's the usual manner of achieving a Paul Harris Fellowship. However, many Rotary clubs, ours included, also use a Paul Harris Fellowship to acknowledge outstanding Rotarians within the club or members of the community. In this case, the Rotary Club will donate 1,000 Paul Harris recognition points towards the Rotary Foundation in that person's name and awards them a Paul Harris. Earlier in 2020, Rotarian Louise Jones and Ian Pavlik were honored in such a manner for their contributions to our club. President Debbie and the board of directors have unanimously acclaimed this member to be worthy of such an award. This member has demonstrated over many years that service above self is an admirable model to live by. And with that, we're going to segue right into the live presentation of this award. Thank you.
Surprise!
What the heck is this?
So we'd like to present to you our club's coveted Paul Harris Fellowship
Yeah.
Award. So, as you know, the Paul Harris Award is one of our highest honorary awards that our club can give and bestow
Yes.
upon a person.
Yes.
It exemplifies the highest ideals in Rotary in placing service above self. This honor accompanies a $1,000 donation in your name to Rotary International's annual program fund,
Yeah.
which supports Rotary worldwide.
Mhm.
So we'd like to honor, I know that you are a bit of a mystery,
To me too.
yes, and certainly you take care of our website, you create our social media posts for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, a lot of graphics for all of our events. We put together the PowerPoints that we use in our lunch meetings and evening meetings and events. You shoot all the photography,
Yeah.
so smile, you're getting some of that payback.
Thank you.
You
Did
don't.
you notice the haircut?
Yes, very nice.
I haven't got mine yet.
Yes. And yes, you don the sprocket
Yeah.
outfit,
Yeah.
although that should stay a little secret, or else you end up with that a bit more.
Yeah.
And you also did the foundation website and logo.
Mhm.
So you've done a lot for many, many years. For
And
our
in
club.
fact, I'm just working on the spring tonic hammer, kids hammering houses together to win a Google Chrome book.
Oh, fantastic.
So doing Rotary as we speak.
Doing Rotary, you did the Halloween one too.
Yeah, yeah,
So the list goes on and on.
yeah.
So for a guy that's a bit of a mystery, we want to make sure we said thank you.
Yeah,
Now, just for everybody's benefit as well, you are on the board of Furry Friends, in charge of communications, doing their website, social media, and graphics.
yeah,
You volunteer doing graphics and photography for the CNIB. You also do graphics and website for the Child Welfare PAC.
yeah.
And so for our background kind of guy, we wanted to make sure that you knew that you're not in the background to us, that we
Thank
appreciate you, that you're wonderful. So
Can I go hide in my basement again now?
So we would like to present to you
Wow.
the certificate.
I am really moved. I am really shocked and really proud of this. This is a great moment for me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everyone.
You're very welcome to it.
Yes. So
That's amazing.
And you thought you were doing another Rotary project.
Yeah, you tricked me.
wait till we ask you to fix up the video for us.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta be tricky to get me out of the basement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mark.
So definitely well reserved. And if I can just ask people to take their mute off so we can actually hear some congratulations and claps and thank yous.
Bravo,
Well done, Mark.
bravo,
Well
bravo.
done.
Yay.
Here, here, here.
Congratulations. Way to go, Mark. You're one of the good
Great
ones.
leadership.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks a lot, everyone. I really appreciate it. It's one of the biggest things that's happened to me my whole life. I never thought I'd be a fellow, Paul Harris fellow like that. And it just happened, and it really, you don't do volunteerism for the thanks, but boy, it's nice to receive. I've just been on cloud nine since then. And President Deb, I have to apologize for kind of stealing your thunder by posting it on Facebook early, but I was just so excited and I didn't think till the next day, oh, maybe she wanted this to be saved for the meeting. And so anyway, I have to apologize for letting the cat out of the bag, but I was just so excited and so blown away by this great honor. So thanks to everyone for voting for me or supporting me, and for giving me the opportunity to apply my skills and help in such a great cause as the Rotary Club of Barrie. I'm so proud of being a member of this club.
Oh, thank you. You so well deserved. So thank you so much. And as I said there, I wish we could have, done a handshake and a hug, but we'll have to catch that once this is all through.
Yeah, you bet. And can I make a quick little announcement?
Absolutely.
I have these stickers that the PR committee has done that we're unable to distribute just yet until we start meeting in person, but I've got them at home. If anyone wants these, I've got one stuck on my front door. I've got one stuck on my car. You could put them at your place of business or whatever, and let everyone know that you're a proud member of the Rotary Club of Barrie, as I am, especially today. So just email me or whatever, and you can swing by and pick them up, or we can work something out if you want them. Otherwise, they'll be distributed next time we're together.
Oh, thank you. It just keeps going and going and going with you. It's just awesome. So again, thank you so much from all of us. It's just fabulous. And certainly don't mind that you posted ahead of time. It's so special that you were so excited and wanted to share so much. So again, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I have to thank David Porter, who originally brought me into the club, and and my wife Sherry, who's always believed in volunteerism and really encouraged me once David sort of opened my eyes to Rotary, encouraged me to get in. So, and it's nice that they're both here today for this.
Oh,
for those who don't know, Mark has been a customer of mine for almost 20 years. And he came to me one day and said, "Where do you go at Thursday lunch?" So I showed him. So that was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that's special. Well, I can't wait to see who the two of you will bring into Rotary next. So, no.
Thanks again, everyone. It's a huge thing to me.
Yeah. Well, if we were live and in person, everybody'd be coming up and you have your chance to shake hands. But I think when all this is done, we're going to have to go through and do a little bit of celebratory events for things that have happened this year to make sure everybody gets their pat on the back and a hug from everyone. So.
Sounds good.
So we've got another announcement. Darren.
That's me. All right, so I've got an announcement for our next upcoming event. It is the Spring Tonic Drive-Through. So unfortunately, last year we had to cancel the event because obviously COVID kicked in at that point. But what we're doing is it's kind of like a hybrid event, and it's going to be on Saturday, April the 24th. From 8 until noon, so it's a 4-hour window, and it's going to be done at the Barrie Legion at Ferris Lane and Cundles. And what's going to happen is we're basically going to be launching the marketing for the event through radio. Will be Rock 95 and Cool FM, and also on social media next week, likely on April 1st. And it's no joke, by the way. Customers will place their order through a website. We've got secured springtonic.ca, and they're going to be able to go through there and place an order for basically pancakes. There's going to be a bunch of maple syrup options there as well, and some maple syrup candies. And they'll then be able to come through and basically drive through and be able to oh, why am I getting an echo? Am I good now?
You're
Yeah.
good.
Okay. And then what we're going to be doing is, so we'll have an extended menu, yeah, with the maple syrup products. We're also going to be giving out or selling cedar bird houses that will tie in with the contest that Mark was mentioning there, where kids are going to be able to build the bird houses, post the pictures online, and then have a chance to win a Chrome or a Google Chromebook for their efforts. So what else I got here? The PR committee. We're also going to include an option to donate directly to RVH as well. So you'll have that chance when you're putting your order together to make a donation. And we'll collect those separately and put those together. We're also going to be setting it up so that we've got 15-minute windows. So when you place an order, you'll have to pick a 15-minute window in order to be able to smooth out the traffic, so we don't have like 80 cars showing up at 8 a.m. in the morning to get their pancakes. And it'll just be the 4 hours. Everyone will stay in their vehicles. The product will be brought to them, so there's going to be no contact with any of the customers. I'm looking for approximately 16 to 20 volunteers for the morning. And most of the jobs are going to be outdoor jobs. So it's going to be, we're going to set up the pancake grills, hopefully open air. We do also have tents in case the weather's bad, but we'll be able to set that up. And we're also going to be looking for runners to run basically the orders back and forth from, we've also got a kitchen set up there as well, which will be separate. Another thing is social distancing will be a priority. So our safety of our volunteers is going to be our premier sort of focus. And we're also going to make sure that masks are mandatory both inside and outside to make sure that there's no sort of contact that way. If you're interested in helping out, you can email or call Michael LeCollier. He's going to look after the duty roster. And I'll get a message also sent out by Club Runner just to remind everybody to contact him directly. And and also too, if you could help promote the event through social media, we're going to be launching those social media posts next week. And if you can blanking on the word, if you can just
Share.
post those or share, there we go. If you can share those posts, that will be greatly helpful to getting the word out on top of the radio promotion that we're also going to get for the event. So thanks very much. And thanks, President Deb, for the time.
Thank you, Darren. And looking forward to that event. So so make it easy on Darren. Sign up, let them know that you want to be part of it. And at least it'll be one little feeling of some normalcy of being able to be around people again, although COVID style. So take advantage of that. Now, do we have an announcement on golf? Or can somebody make the announcement on golf?
Yeah, President Deb, I'll do that because I don't see Dave online today. Just a reminder, if you weren't here last week, golf tournament this year will be on May 27. It'll be very much like we did in the fall. It'll just be no shotgun start. It'll start by about 2 o'clock at Innisbrook, and it'll just be about 8 to 10 foursomes most likely. So for now, it's a save the date, and we'll let you know as soon as it's ready for sign up. So May 27, put her in your calendar. Thanks.
Great, thank you. And on to birthdays and anniversaries. Birthdays, we have Kara at March 25th. Ron Riley, March 25th. I did see him online too. Dave Brown, Ken Firth, Michelle Greenwood, and Peter Monovan. So they're all March babies. Anniversaries, let's see, wow. Okay, Angie and Graydon Oldfield are 13 years. But we also have Dave and Sheila Blencarn at 54 years. And to be outdone there is Bonnie and Dave Cullicutt at 57 years. So pretty incredible. And And my belief is that they're all been talking to both David and David. They're both still doing wonderful and great 57, 54, and 57 years later, even with the COVID shutdown. So they will see 55 and 58, which is pretty awesome. Club anniversaries is Susan Barnes at 9 years. Thank you, Marta, for that applause for everybody. I saw you there. Graham Mallory, 6 years, and Paul Marley at 30 years. So big congratulations. And Jeff, do we have our birthday song?
Happy birthday.
Awesome, awesome. Yep, I still love those, even though we're at 9 months into the year, still loving them. So as you know, for birthdays, a donation to polio, and for anniversary is a donation towards the fight against COVID-19. So we have right into Eric, SAA Eric. We have some doozies.
Yeah, but only a couple. President Deb, we've got a busy meeting today and a longer program. So I'm going to just focus on a couple of things. Let's see, Secretary Jeff, you could pull out that one slide. It suggests that Trevor, maybe Paul Markle, unmute. So this one was not announced to me officially. So this one I had to learn through my spy network. But it looks like Trevor's dad and mom have retired from ownership of the McDonald's at the flagship stores at Bayview and the Walmart. So says right in here that that Trevor will be taken over as an official licensed owner operator. You know, but first maybe I'll ask Paul Markle, what does that mean? Like, what's it mean to be an owner operator, and is this kind of a big deal? Paul, you online? Unmute. All right, Paul is not paying attention to us currently. So Trevor, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is to this succession plan within the McDonald's area, and why you chose not to make a big deal of this on your own. Trevor, got on mute.
Sorry, muted. Yeah, so on Monday, after 49 years of working for McDonald's, my dad decided to retire. He's done a lot for the brand of McDonald's, and you know, Paul Marco used to work for him, so he's done a lot for the company. And over the last 4 years, I've been completing, it's called the Next Generation Owner Operator Program. And it was a long process, but it was worth the wait. But I was able to purchase the Bayfield and the Walmart North location from him. So a lot of mixed emotions for my dad. He was happy, he was sad, but yeah, it was a pretty exciting week for us.
That is pretty exciting. That's a big move. President Deb, yeah, you're a second generation business owner, right? What does it mean to have that kind of succession plan?
Well, it is incredible, actually. There's not that many businesses that do transition successfully to a next generation, and even, you know, much fewer that go into a third generation. So congratulations, Trevor. It's quite a task. One, working with family, working with a father. So
yeah, that wasn't always easy.
Yeah, it is different, but I'm sure it was a lot of patience on both your sides to make this successful. So congratulations to that.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And I'm sure there might be a little fine, but seeing how Paul Marco is not here, I'll talk on his behalf. He's agreed to pay half of the fine, and then as well as Dave Porter agreed to pay the other half since his daughters work at the store. So
Okay, I like that. I really like that essay, Eric. I think then we actually double the fine.
Seems reasonable. What do
Yeah,
you
I
go
don't think it
for?
really passes the 4-way test, though. I think the fact that my daughter works there doesn't really apply to me at all.
Yeah, well, I'm going with what Trevor said.
Okay.
So, and a second generation. Now I do think, being that it is a restaurant, one day we're going to have an off-site meeting again. So I think an offer of, offering up the store and location to do an off-site meeting one time would be awesome. Would you be agreeable to that, Trevor?
Absolutely. I was just joking about the fines. I'll pay them, but if you guys want to come, absolutely. We all can have some Big Macs and we'll have a great meeting there for sure.
Well, I'm going to leave the actual number to you, but a donation to the Barry Foundation, where you get a tax receipt. So a donation there would be greatly appreciated. And it does need to be more than $50.
No problem.
That's great. That is good news. I just put a little chat notice down there. How many other second generation business owners have we got? We actually have a fairly vocational oriented program today. So I'm kind of interested in that as well. It's just by show of hands. If you're, yeah, look at that. Yeah, we got quite a few. I had a couple of buddies back in Lindsay who called themselves the Idiot Sons Club. Because they were the group of second generation business owners that always knew whenever their dad came in the shop that they were idiots. It's so Trevor, I expect you and your dad will have some interesting conversations, because even once they're gone, they're never really gone.
That is more true.
Yep, I'm sure he'll be giving me some advice whether I like it or not.
Yep.
Well, congrats, Trevor. We've had a lot of chance to work with Trevor and Glenn over the years with McHappy Day, so it's just a real treat to see this kind of a succession plan. We had one other piece of interesting news that also happens to involve Mr. Porter, but more importantly, Treasurer Wayne. Wayne, did you have some good news, Rotary related?
Oh, good afternoon, President Deb, Sergeant Arms Eric. Yeah, I have accepted the position with district as the finance chair, effective immediately.
That's a big role and a big, a big bonus for Rotary. Tell us a little bit about what the finance chair role looks like.
They wouldn't tell me. They just said, they made me go through all the interviewing process and said, yeah, you're the perfect fit. But they wouldn't tell me what I got to do.
Nice.
Yeah, I will have a group of individuals. I'll have the actual treasurers, bookkeepers, and a whole committee, all to deal with the finances of the district as a whole. And we're going to be revamping some of the spending, some of the transparency, and trying to create more of a, geez, that's what Rotary District does. So that'll be my mission, communications.
Now, President Deb, I heard through the grapevine as well that that Mr. Porter may have been a nominee for Wayne for this position. Dave, is that truism?
Well, what happened was a couple of years ago, Wayne saw me at district at that point when I was district webmaster for 6 years. And he said, well, when I'm done, I wouldn't mind joining. And I went, well, okay. And then the current chair, Kelly, had to step down due to some family issues. And we went out a finance chair at the district level for the last 3 months. So it came up and I put Wayne's name forward, not realizing that he would get it. And I have to work with him again after doing 4.5 years in the club. Now I have 3 years at the district level. So all kidding aside, it's a great fit. He'll be joining the District Advisory Council Executive. So it'll be of 8 people running the district, a quarter of them are from Barrie. So 2 of us are going to be on the advisory council.
Very cool. President Deb, what do you think about this kind of great news for Rotary and Rotary District?
Well, definitely great for Rotary District. Awesome for our club. Having Dave in district, Wayne in district. Now, Allison, I think you're still in district.
Yep.
Am I missing anybody with our district presence?
No, I think that's it. Allison is committee chair for New Generations.
Yeah, so we're starting to take over district, which is awesome. So it is a great opportunity. Look forward to what you learn and how that all comes back to our club. So looking forward to that. And you are not off the hook for a fine. But I think definitely the fact that Dave remembered, I think that's at least a $5 fine for Dave. And Wayne, yeah, I think there's got to be a fine going into district, getting all, big shoddy on us. I think that's got to be $20. What do you think?
Those seem pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Thank you, President. I will make that to our own foundation. In the Through Canada Helps. I'll still get my receipt and it goes into our club funds. And Trevor, that's where you should be making your donation. Canada Helps. Get a receipt and you just put in the Rotary Club of Barrie. That way there, our club gets the money.
This is good.
Oh, good.
Excuse me, it's the Rotary Club of Barrie Charitable Foundation.
Yep.
Charitable Trust.
Okay, well,
and excuse me, it could also be the Rotary Foundation as well, and help drive polio out and help COVID-19 get out of our planet, get off our planet.
Absolutely. So we could just, triple everything and make sure everybody does one to each. So if you guys can think about that. I'll let you weigh in on that yourselves.
This is good. President Deb, I noticed, Jody was being very cautious today. Jody, why don't you speak a little bit so we can see the sign behind you? You're getting good product placement there again.
There's no product placement, President Deb, Sergeant Arms Eric, promoting Rotary with a mouthful.
Very nice. We got Rotary Club there is now eclipsing the KIS sign. That's very, very good.
This was the what's left of the banner that was behind Deb, President Deb, when we did our Rotary meeting here in Butchert, Canada on our stage.
Yes, yes. Well, it's nice to, you've upgraded your system.
It's really nice. Well done. Let's see. Sebastian wanted to do a little bit of good news about vaccination status. Sebastian, how'd it go?
It went well, President Debbie and Sergeant Arms Eric. I arrived at about 10 to 12 at the old police station, and at about 12:15 was in my car on my way home. Very smooth, very good operation. It's well run, and it was extremely busy. But you go through relatively rapidly, and it really is good. Especially with the news that now younger people can start booking themselves. It's looking good. So I'm happy to pay a fine for that.
This is good. And most people are younger than you, which is good.
Well, yeah, most of the world is.
Excellent. President Deb, do you want to assign a number or allow that to be a free will offering?
I think that's a free will offering there. I've gone and had some, physio done there. So I don't want to get beat up next time I have to go to Baz.
This is good.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, last one is a bit of this is going to be news to me as well, President Deb. I had a request from Marshall. Says he has some new fresh dirt to mention.
Ooh, okay.
President Deb and Sergeant Arms Eric, I don't know if you noticed that I dashed away for a minute there because our doorbell rang and I felt I had to answer it. And who should be at my door but Bernie Still, delivering me a couple of those coupons, the thank you coupons for the restaurant workers, etc., who've been working so hard. And I said to Bernie, how come you're here now? Aren't you supposed to? You just pulled me away from the Rotary meeting. And he sort of slapped his head and said, oh my gosh, I forgot all about it. So that should be a note for Sergeant Arms Eric for next week's meeting.
Absolutely. If we ever see Bernie at an actual meeting, I think we may have to make sure he gets online soon.
He actually told me, Sergeant Arms Eric, that he's going to your house next to deliver some coupons. So you're going to get to see him personally.
Excellent. I will try to have my camera online. All right, well, thank you. That's good dirt and live. John, you got your hand up back there?
Can I defend? Can I defend
defend.
Bernie?
You can try.
I had a crew of 5 Rotarians down at Heritage Park for 2 hours this morning, cleaning the last displays down. So Bernie's going above and beyond for Rotary today if he's missed this meeting. And if there's a fine, I'll pay it.
Excellent.
You dare.
Don't tell Bernie that yet.
Yeah, we'll let you guys fight that out next week.
All right, President Deb, I don't want to cut into today's program, so that's all I got for you.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Yeah, we have quite an exciting program. Looking forward to this greatly. So we have mini classifications. So if you're thinking of leaving early, absolutely, you're going to miss the best sessions that we have. So Scott Elliott, do you want to take it away? Where's Scott?
Scott, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm trying to find him on my screen. There he is. Yep, Scott.
Sorry, President Deb. Thank you very much. We have a double feature picture show today. We have our mini classifications of Dean Bell and Ian Pavlik. I'm going to introduce both at the start so that it won't cram the time as much. I was a proud sponsor of Ian Pavlik. He'll be going first. And Ian was on the National Junior Development team when he was a ski team when he was a teenager. He's a great athlete and a fine gentleman. When he was 16, he was coming home from ski practice and a car went across the highway at him and struck him on a head-on collision. He was unconscious for 3 days. His mom and dad didn't know if he was going to make it, legs, and his whole body was badly hurt. 1 year to the day of the accident, he made the National Junior Downhill Skiing team for the World Championships and competed there. He's coached the Canadian Special Olympic teams for over 20 years, and he was head coach of the Special Olympic Alpine team at the Nagano, Japan Olympics. So that's Ian, and he's going to have some stories for you. The next person who is speaking after that, and Dean will be live on this one, will be Dean Bell. And many people in Rotary may not know that Dean is an honorary member of all 3 clubs. And the reason for that is that he's been helping Rotary through Barrie and in all the places where they did work and lived. And so the 3 clubs just got together and he is actually a member of all 3. So that's a sort of cool thing. He and his companies have supported all sorts of things like Friday Night Lights. There's so many things they've done. He's just a great gentleman, tireless in his work and always pitching in different places. So there's your 2 speakers for today, and I'll let it take forward from there, Jeff. Thanks.
Hello, President Deb, fellow Rotarians. I'm Ian Pavlik, and I was asked to do a mini classification, but given a little bit of leeway in that classification. Scott Elliott said to me that it could be anything from about our dog or about a trip or about us as a family. So I thought I'd actually take 2 parts of that. One is to talk a little bit about our family, which we have right here, and about travel, which is something that as a family we love to do. So for those that don't know me, I'm Ian Pavlik. I've been a member of the club since 1997. Scott Elliott was my sponsor, and I joined, and been quite involved in Rotary ever since. I've had my on years and off years, but love Rotary and think it's a very important part of my life and an important part of giving back to the community. So beside me to my left is my wife, Sarah.
Hello.
Son, Alex.
Hello.
And daughter, Sophie.
Hi.
So Sophie, tell us what grade are you in? How old are you?
I'm 16. I'm in grade 11, and I go to Barrie North Collegiate.
I'm 18, going to the University of Guelph for mechanical engineering, my second semester.
I'm not 18. And I work at Publix.com.
Yes, there you go. And I'm not 18 either. I am actually younger than her. I like to brag about that, but you wouldn't know it by looking at us, would you? So yeah, I have a company, Publix.com, that both Sarah and I work at. We're an IT company, but we're not going to talk too much about that today. I wanted to talk about one of the things that's important to us as a family is travel, like I said, and we've started when the kids were quite young to travel, and we've ended up going on a lot of adventures. And I like to think we travel well as a family. Would you agree?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty well.
Yeah. Good. Road trips are kind of our thing. We love it. I know it doesn't work for all families, but for us, it seems to work. So we started when the kids were young, and probably our first, not only, but one of our first epic trips would have been when we traveled to the East Coast. Right. So how old would you have been, Soph?
I don't know. I don't remember it that well.
Probably what, 5 years old? I would say. Yeah, around 5 years old. So
I was looking too.
yeah, when we went on that camping trip, so actually around us.
2011.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So we have in our one of our sitting rooms here a lot of pictures here from a lot of our travels. So yeah, Sophie would have been 7. So we camped our way to the East Coast. We drove through the northern U.S. and then up into basically as far as, where is it, to Halifax and Cape Breton. And a memorable, so what would be one of the memorable things from our trip to Cape Breton?
Definitely our first stop at the East Coast, and it's pouring rain, and we've been cooped up in the car for 2-3 days, 6-hour days of driving, and Sophie and I just needed to blow off some steam. Pouring rain, puddles everywhere, and he just told us to go jump in every puddle, get wet, and I don't know how long we spent, but we jumped in every puddle, got completely soaked to the bone. Best moment ever.
And we had been camping up to that point, and we knew that we were going to get a hotel for the night, but we didn't quite expect how wet the kids would get. And I recall it took days for their shoes running shoes to dry out. But another very quick memorable story is we had spent a night camping in Shetty Camp, which is just on the eastern side of Cape Breton. And in the middle of the night, there was a major storm blew through, but it was a westerly storm. So the wind were blowing west, and it came over the mountains behind us, heading out into the ocean. And at about 4 o'clock in the morning, the winds picked up, and Sarah and I were in the middle of the night trying to hold the tent up. And it was around 5 o'clock in the dark, the tent finally collapsed. And in the downpour of rain, we had to drag the kids out of bed, break camp. And by about 5:30 in the morning, we were sitting in the Tim Hortons down the road, soaking wet, going, what are we going to do now? But it was a great memory, and we loved our trip out east. So then I think the next big trip that we did was out west.
Out west, yep.
And so how did you get out west, Sarah?
So we had an exchange student living with us, Bonnie. She was from Croatia, and actually it was Ian's president year. Well, just finishing his president year, we went to the President's Bash. And the next day we got in our minivan, and Funny and I drove to Vancouver Island with a van full of camping gear. And we stayed the night in, many nights along the way, but stayed the night in Vancouver Island. And then Funny flew back to Ontario, and then flew to Croatia, and Ian and the kids flew out to Vancouver Island to meet me there.
So Sarah was a trooper driving all our stuff out west. And then Sophie, Alex, and I flew out, and then we went out to the very far coast to Tofino, and then started camping our way back back east. And we spent a couple weeks doing that. So at that point, we kind of picked up on the idea that, hey, we've hit the 2 coasts, and we'll get to the 3rd coast in a minute. We did that trip a few years ago. But a memorable thing for me in that trip was we were driving across the prairies of Saskatchewan, and there was a major storm behind us, and we had about 3-4 hours to get to our next campsite, and the storm was creeping up, and we were trying to beat it, and I realized we were going in the right direction, heading east, because going the other way towards the storm, as first time I've actually seen one of those storm chaser cars that look like a turtle. And I thought it's always a good sign when that thing's going the other way than you. So, but what was one of your favorite memories, Sophie, from our trip out to the West Coast? Can't think of any.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to remember the trip. To be
So
honest.
I remember.
I would say the handstand and the playing in the ocean on Long Beach. That was a big one.
Oh, that was right out
In
at
Tofino. Right in the very
right
far
at the
west
very
coast in
far
Tofino.
west. Okay.
Yeah, and I remember too, you thought it was quite funny the name of the national park in the border of Alberta from BC called Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump.
Oh yeah.
That was the name of the reserve, was Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump. So
Right.
so to pick up on that, we talked about the two coasts, and then we decided at one point we need to do the third coast, which is the Arctic Ocean. And so we planned an epic trip. Gosh, now my what?
2016.
2016. And we wanted to camp, but we realized in order to, we're looking at this picture over there of us, we couldn't really drive all the way up and then drive all the way up to the Arctic Circle up north and come back. It would have taken us too long. So we kind of bent the rules for us and we glamped. So what we did is we actually flew up to Whitehorse and then we rented a camper. Now we've never camped in a camper before, so it was a bit of a new experience for us. It felt a little luxurious.
Yeah.
And then we drove all the way up. That's long story short. We drove up to, how far did we drive north? What was the name of the town? So, do you remember? Where we had.
It was Inuvik.
Inuvik, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then from there, what was the epic trip we did from Inuvik further?
We flew in a tiny plane. What was
A Cessna.
A Cessna up to Tuktoyaktuk, which is like a super small town. Right on it was on the coast or kind of
right,
in
right
the islands. And then we spent a day there. We got a tour and we had some food and dinner, and then we ended up taking a boat all the way back to Inuvik, which was really beautiful because it was in the summer, so the sun stayed up for a really long time, and we got to see the sunset at like midnight.
Yeah.
Barely set and come back up again.
Yeah. And we left at like 6 a.m. when we got on the Cessna, just the four of us, with the pilot. I wasn't flying all the way up north. And then we had a guide who guided us back down the Mackenzie Delta to back to Inuvik. But along the way, and so he was from the north and from that area, had grown up there. And so I had a lot of family and connections, and we stopped at a whaling camp. And it was this elderly woman. You remember her name?
Clara.
Yeah, Clara, right.
Clara. So we stopped at Clara's home along the Mackenzie Delta, where she had just, and unfortunately missed it by a few weeks. They had had a whale hunt and had dried a whole bunch of whale meat on the shore. And we got to have lunch with her. And what were some of the cool things we ate there? Do you remember?
Whale jerky, whale blubber.
Yeah. Muktuk. And
goose soup,
goose soup, right?
Goose soup, yes, as well. So it was a wonderful experience getting to meet this woman to tell us these wonderful stories as we were up far north. Lots of other stories with up there in the Arctic Circle, but we dipped our toes in all three oceans, so that was something wonderful.
Haven't quite made it down to Point Pelee yet.
So that's the irony of it, right?
Yeah.
So it's the three oceans, but where's the farthest south point? Is literally a day's drive away, and we haven't gone to Point Pelee yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So what's another great trip that we've done that we want to talk about?
2 summers ago, we went to France, and then we went to a fair number of the war memorials along the coast of France, and then we spent a week in Switzerland hiking throughout the mountains, which was a really awesome trip.
Yeah, it was. It was a funny trip because it was very somber for the first week in all the things that we saw. And actually, Alex had just finished a history course.
I just finished grade 10 history, so I knew all the facts about all the different places we were visiting.
Yeah.
And I just finished a French course, so I was practicing my French that I'd learned and
very good
going into another one the following semesters.
Yeah. So Sarah, what was one of your favorite memories from the French part, the tour?
Well, we
we didn't realize that the time of year that we went, France is kind of on vacation. And so we'd taken a scenic road trip tour to get from sort of the interior to the coast. And then realized along the way that nothing was open and all the shops were boarded up, and and so that was kind of interesting and surprising. So.
Yeah, we don't, and we drove, so we rented a car in Paris and drove around the back country of France, and we'd prefer to take a side road than the main highways, and so then we ended up on what was supposed to be a road, but it was a dirt road, and then we got to the point where we almost ran out of gas. And we couldn't figure out, because there's diesel and regular, and we got to this gas station and everything was in French on the pump, and Alex and I were trying to figure out the French on it. Anyway, we put the right gas in and we kept going, so we're all good.
Or we think we did.
We think we did. So then we went down to Switzerland, and we had a great little sort of chalet up in the mountains. But what was the fun day trip that we did, Alex, Sophie? What was that? What we did that one day?
We got to see the international championships for velodrome.
Yeah, that was a total coincidence.
Yeah, we just happened to be there, and the town, small town right at the base of the mountain, was hosting, was it the World Championship?
World Junior Championship.
World Junior Championships in velodrome with Canadian racers from all around the world, a bunch of different categories, and running for the 2 days we were there.
Yeah.
And we happened to be there right for it.
Cool, yeah. And so what was that day that we visited 3 different countries?
Oh yeah, we woke up in the morning in Switzerland, had breakfast, and then we drove down to Italy, and we had lunch in Italy, which was really nice. And then we drove back through France, and
to
then we
Mont Blanc, into Mont Blanc in France.
And then we had coffee, kind of like afternoon break there, and then we went back to Switzerland and had dinner back at our place.
How often do you get to do that? Eh? Meals in 3 different countries in one day, right? That was pretty cool. So what was, tell us about the awesome trip that we had this past summer that we booked. What was the plan for the 2020 summer that we had booked? So what were we going to do?
We were going to go to Norway and Sweden. So we were going to go to Sweden and then drive to Norway. And then we were going to make our way up like super far north and go hiking up north. But, you know, that didn't happen.
Oh, we missed the ABBA Museum.
Yeah,
that was the worst part.
I found the ABBA Museum.
Yeah, we were going to fly into Oslo and then take a train over to Stockholm and then actually spend a day in Stockholm and then fly up. I mean, we're still going to do it someday. Air Canada still has our money, so we'll get there. But there's some beautiful cliffs and fjords and hiking, and we're going to rent cars and rent a car and drive around.
The Lofoten Island.
Lofoten Islands. So that's a trip that will come someday. So, well, hopefully that this has helped maybe explain a little bit about who I am and what my most important thing in my life is our family, and what we love to do is travel and see the world. Difficult this time of year, or we given the the current circumstances, but we make the best of it. So, any guys want to say last words?
Oh, I think that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, President Deb and fellow Rotarians. That's me and my most important thing, my family. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Any questions for Ian?
Other than I do have one. What the heck does whale blubber taste like?
President Deb, it was the flavor was okay. The texture was the questionable thing. It was kind of like really solidified Jello with kind of chewiness to it. But, you got to try it. You make your way all the way up there. You got to try it.
That is true. That is true. You always have to have a bite of whatever's the local cuisine.
Absolutely.
So nice though. Thank you so much for sharing and sharing your family. I find that's one big piece that we're missing with this whole COVID is just getting to know our fellow Rotarians and their family and interests. So thank you so much for taking some time to share that with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And Scott, are we right into Dean?
Yeah, I think I've done the introduction for Dean. So Dean, if you'd like to start up on the Dean Bell story.
Hello, President Deb, fellow Rotarians. For those who don't know me, I'm Dean Bell. I've been a proud honorary Rotarian in all 3 Barrie clubs since before anyone can remember. The Barrie membership directory says 212, Kempenfeld says January 214, and Huronia says 210. So I've been around for a while. I, my wife Veronica, and daughter Sonia moved to Barrie in February 1986 and have been enjoying this wonderful area ever since. I was raised in a small farming community southwest of Owen Sound, Ontario, called Desborough, or Dodge City, on a Saturday night for obvious reasons. We went to public school at Sullivan Central, just outside of Desborough, and were bused to Owen Sound for high school. Even though my family owned the buses, Bell Bus Lines, I did manage to get kicked off on occasion and had to hitchhike home. Being the youngest of 14 kids, yes, 7 boys and 7 girls from the same parents, and we weren't even Catholic, had its advantages. You really had to pick out clothing, skates, or even bicycles because it just all got handed down to you. We grew up playing baseball, hockey, swimming in the river, and working for the farmers in the summer, baling hay, etc. Desborough had one intersection, a 4-way stop with a feed mill on one corner, a grocery store on another corner, hardware store on one, and the famous Desborough Tavern, of course, was the main attraction. Very unique little village. It had a population of 150 people for 150 years. Every time a girl got pregnant, a guy left town. That's a joke. That never happened. That's a joke. At the ripe old age of 18, I got a job through an older brother driving a truck in Guelph, Ontario, for a company called Suntrack Rentals. This involved loading equipment and delivering it to different construction sites around the area. When you weren't doing that, you're in the shop or at the yard, hosing down equipment, washing it up, doing light maintenance and that sort of stuff. It was during this time that I received a phone call from an older sister that worked in Waterloo. She was looking to hook me up with a friend of hers she worked with to take her to the company Christmas party. Hey, a date with a free meal? Hell yes, I was in. That was when I met Veronica Schwarzentrooper. We went to the Christmas party, had a real blast, continued dating, and 6 years later, we were married. Excuse me. Talk about being from a small town. Veronica grew up in a family of 9 on a dairy farm in a place called Punky Doodle's Corners. It's close to Stratford. And if you're ever in that area, see if you can find it. That could be tricky as the village sign gets stolen on a regular basis. From delivering equipment in Guelph, I moved on to running the parts department for Suntrack in Waterloo. And from there was offered and accepted a management position in Brantford, Ontario. With Brantford came lots of firsts. Veronica and I, as a young couple, bought our first home. I took business management night courses at Mohawk College, and we welcomed the birth of our daughter, Sonia, in October 1984. We were very comfortable in Brantford, management position, company car, expense account, all the goodies. But my mind kept leaning to running my own business. So in 1986, I partnered with my brother Boyd and Dave Nye, who had rental locations in Waterloo and Walkerton. We decided to locate the 3rd branch in Barrie. For Christmas in 1985, Veronica had a pair of work boots under the tree with a subtle reminder. Do you remember what these are for? In 86, Veronica and I, with our 2-year-old daughter in tow, moved to Barrie. We rented a townhouse on Adelaide Street for the first year until we got a feel for what part of the city we wanted to or could afford to buy a home in. With John Forkerson as a partner, we opened BNR Equipment at 67 Patterson Road. Being new to Barrie, we joined the Barrie Construction Association, the Barrie Builders Association, Barrie Chamber of Commerce, as well as became regular supporters of the Rotary clubs of Barrie and surrounding area. We opened earlier than our competition. We closed later, offered a full delivery service to construction sites. I also got in the habit of dropping into different bars after work on Thursday or Fridays and scope out the place for anyone wearing work boots. Good chance they're in the construction business. Buy around, strike up a conversation, buy around. What an awesome way to meet contractors. And meet contractors, I did. We kept expanding our company and had 7 locations in Ontario and 1 in Buffalo, New York, when a knock came on the door in 1998 from United Rentals looking to buy us out. After several knocks and some hard negotiations, we decided to accept the check. Most of the B&R employees stayed on with United. They had me running a large part of Ontario as we expanded their company across North America. 7 of the original B&R group decided that corporate life was not for us. We decided to start our own company again, and in May 2000, we established Contractors Rental Supply in 4 locations: Barrie, Ottawa, Kitchener, and Owen Sound. As we built CRS, we never lost sight of giving back to the community right across the province. Who can forget Friday night lights, hauling tower lights from wherever to the high schools in Barrie so that the kids could play football with their parents home and able to watch the night games. Or, and generators and fencing to the Kempenfest with our Barrie Rotary Club beer tent and all the other good things we did. Or our famous hockey draft held twice a year, one for the regular season and one for the playoffs at the South Shore Community Center. We would bring over 200 contractors together from all walks of construction business for a full meal, prizes, and a free-flowing bar to draft their teams. Lots of side bets, laughs, and great fun was had by all. These were held on Thursday nights, and the Friday after was pretty quiet in our industry. These events were made possible with many great sponsors from across the region. I cannot say enough about giving back to the community. Be good to the community that has been good to you. We took CRS from 4 locations to 30 locations, all in Ontario by the year 2017, when history repeated itself. Once again, there was a knock on the door, and we sold our company to Sunbelt Rentals. This type of growth was possible by a lot of hard work, some real good luck, fantastic employees, and dedicated, supportive customers and suppliers. We thank you all. Veronica and I still reside in Barrie area and love it as much as ever. Our daughter lives in Toronto with her partner Claire and the newest addition to the family, Miles Frederick, our first grandchild, who is now 16 months old. Thank you for your attention, and questions are welcome.
All right, do we have some questions? Get me on gallery here. All right, everybody's on mute and everybody's pretty quiet.
President Deb, I'll just chip in and, again, from my old RVH perspective, seeing Dean and Veronica, their involvement in so many charities, as well as Rotary, it's just a great story of family business giving back. And Dean, I just want to thank you, even though I'm not in that chair anymore.
President Deb, it's Sue Croft. I think we're so quiet because we're all in awe of both of these speakers today, and the depth and breadth of experience that they brought to the community and to us, and their love of family and dedication. It's just incredible. Thank you very much.
If I could say both Ian and Dean are just really fun people. They have fun, but they're so sincere and they help wherever they can. It's just 2 great guys.
Yeah, and Jody has a question.
No, just a comment. When I was running our Spring Tonic project, the gas to run our barbecues and other actual barbecues that they would provide us out there, it was way too easy. That very significant part of our project, the CRS was only too happy to donate what we needed to get it delivered, to pick it up, to set it up in the middle of the forest for us. And actually, by the time you'd called Dean to get it, and it was already looked after. So thank you for that, Dean. Everything you've said, you've supported us and all the Barrie extremely well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody.
And Marshall.
Yes, President Deb. I just want to say that I had, and I'm putting, I guess maybe in quotes, the pleasure of spending a day vacation in Costa Rica with Dean and Veronica at the home, I guess the summer or winter or part-time home of Alfred. And I can tell that Dean does have a fun side to him. He's not all business.
Thank you, Marshall. That was Belize, by the way. Was it the red wine made you forget?
There was a lot of red wine with Alfred, I can tell you. You're right.
Okay. Well, I think with that, I think the real stories are coming out. Do you two want to continue?
President Deb, I also want to share a memory with about Ian before he was even thinking of Rotary. I did see him as a very young middle teen athlete recovering from injury. And even at that time, Ian was Ian Pavlik, as you know him today, level-headed, good sense of humor, spoke when he wanted to, but wasn't a talker. He was really a really good guy, even as a teenager. And when I saw him later, when I joined Rotary, really nothing much has changed other than that he has matured. So it was really cool to see him at Rotary. My goodness. So thanks, Ian. That was an awesome presentation.
Thanks, Baz. There's less hair up here though right now. So.
Well, I'm short, so you get the advantage of you look the same. Any other questions or comments for either one? It's so much fun having, this was a great idea. So thank you, P&I for bringing this forward and letting us get to know a couple of our members a little differently and a little better. So it's nice to have that feel again. So thank you for that. And wait for the thank you to come up. You guys know what this looks like and what it is, a certificate of appreciation and a thank you. I know it takes a bit of time to put that stuff together, even if it is about your life and different things. It brings you down memory lane and always takes 10 times longer than what you possibly think about, but it's always worthwhile and you know, so much fun to have. And you will forever have this on YouTube. So if you want, you can share it with your friends and family for years to come. But in doing that, thank you for doing this, and the donation to polio and a donation to COVID-19 has been made in your honor. So now, here. Okay. Oh, and the satellite speaker, just to kind of throw this in, for tonight is Jeffrey Campbell, Oro Station. And our next meeting, not quite sure which it's going to be. So we'll go from there. So President Deb's Stronger Together, Together Inspired Moment. I have jumped back onto the Rotary bandwagon. So our Peace Fellowship opportunity and Together Changing the World. And I do have a little video.
Rotary's Peace Centers programs offer unique opportunities for experienced professionals in peace and development studies. Each year, the Rotary Foundation awards up to 130 fellowships for study at leading universities around the world. Up to 50 for master's degrees and up to 80 for graduate certificates. Rotary's certificate program includes universities in Thailand and Uganda. The certificate fellowships are now a year-long, combining a 2-week online orientation, a 10-week on-site course with field studies, a 9-month social change initiative in their home countries, combined with mentorship and interactive online learning sessions, and a final 1-week on-site capstone seminar. The fully funded program enhances the work of peace and development leaders who are addressing the underlying challenges to peace, from human rights violations to the impacts of climate change. Fellows gain theoretical and practical peace-building skills, participate in field studies, design and implement a peace initiative, while expanding their global network and furthering their capacity as peace and development leaders. Peace building is a cornerstone of Rotary's mission as a humanitarian service organization. If concerned citizens work together to create peace locally, lasting change can happen globally. For more information and to begin your application, visit
So with that, remember next week, sign on a bit early if you want to chat with your fellow Rotarians. We're kind of skipping a little extra time there so we can go into maybe some extra breakout rooms and have a chance to get to know each other still. If you see somebody out there in Rotary that you haven't seen online for a while, please give them a shout, say hi, let them know we miss them. And if there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, I declare this meeting adjourned. Enjoy.
Thanks, President Deb. Thank you.